Hey guys, welcome to this tutorial. In this video I'm going to show you how I add fire into my videos, and it's going to be a basic tutorial, so I won't go into motion tracking. So it's really just fire in a still shot, no camera movement, no torches or anything like that. So let's dive right in. So I already have my footage imported into After Effects. I'm going to create a new composition. I'll just title it main with standard 1920 by 1080. That's just the aspect ratio of 16 by 9. It'll be at 15 frames per second, and I believe my footage is about 3 seconds long. So that's just that basic composition, and what I'll do is I'll drag my footage into this composition, and you'll notice it's way bigger than the composition. I'll just scale it down because when I shoot with my camera, it shoots a much larger image than normal high definition video is, just at 1080p. This campfire is shot at 1920 by 1080, which is 1080p. Just for faster rendering, I'm going to create a new composition from this video, and I'm just going to change these composition settings just so it isn't as large when exporting. Just like I said, it helps with that render speed. Just scale that down so the fire fits inside of the composition, and then I'll drag the fire composition into my main composition, and it's almost just about the right size anyway. And you'll notice we have these black background parts in there that we just need to get rid of. So what we're gonna do is change the blend mode from normal to screen, and that automatically gets rid of the black background that was there previously. Now it's gone, and I'm just gonna scale it down a little bit, make it fit better. And you can also adjust the blur. I'm gonna add a fast blur. You can adjust the blur on the fire, so if the fire is way out in the background, it needs to be more blurry. You can really change and play with that to really make it blend with how you shot that foreground and background image. And there's really a lot of different things that you can do to make the fire fit in with how you shot the lighting of the scene, and so that once you add the fire, it looks like it is actually affecting the scene in post. So a way you can do that is to change the lighting of the main scene. So I'm just going to look for a brightness effect, which is in color correction for the main video. I'm going to bring down the brightness, and then I'm going to duplicate, Command D to duplicate this scene, this shot, and I'm going to use the mask tool, which is G on the keyboard, to get to the mask tool. You can also click here and hold, and you'll get to all these different options here. But I'm really going to do, instead of the pen tool, I'm going to get the ellipsis tool. And around this area, I am going to have it be brighter than the other area. So you can see this area, just this part of that is brighter. This is basically put on top of this video layer, and that makes it brighter than the other parts of it. And you can go into the mask settings. You can change the feather of this mask to, let's say, 100. You can still see that defining line between the circles. I'm just gonna increase that feather a lot more, so you can't really see where that mask starts and ends. And I'm just gonna make this lighter and darker part more dramatic, and add a little variation to that, like so. And then to also add some more realism, you can add a solid, and I like to make the solids more yellow than orange, but it's kind of a bright yellow with a little bit of an orange in it. I'm going to use the ellipsis tool again just to create this circle that kind of goes with how the fire is shaped. I'm gonna overlay it, and then T on the keyboard for opacity. Drag that all the way down to about there, and I'm gonna change the mask feather, F on the keyboard, to access that feather, and then I'm gonna bring up this opacity again. Okay, you can see this fire is kind of sporadic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this composition settings for the time settings. I'm going to time stretch. Just going to make this video longer so that the fire doesn't look so sporadic or fast. That's better. Yeah. So you can really see that there's a lot you can do with this to change how the fire really blends with your shot. And I'm gonna bring down the brightness just a little bit because it's a bit overdone. And if you really want to make it look even more realistic, you can mask in with some of these logs, put these logs on top of where the fire is so that the fire really looks like it's interacting with the campfire that you've built. Like I said, I'll make another tutorial video on how I created that fire pit because it's not made out of Lego. It's made out of some foam and paint and a lot of detailing, and I'll make another video getting into that. It was a pretty fun build. So yeah, there's really a lot you can do with how the fire blends with the shot that you've animated, and you can really play with it forever. So you really just have to get to a point where you're happy with how it looks and you leave it at that. And there's one more thing. You can add, if you click on this stopwatch here, you hold Alt, you click on it, you're able to add these expressions. If you type wiggle, parentheses, 2,5, what this expression is saying is 2 times per second, I want the opacity of the yellow glow solid to change with a variant of 10. So if you see throughout that video, the brightness of the opacity goes up and down. And really what that's doing is going up and down 2 times per second with a variant of 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it be more like 5 times per second with a variant of 6. So it's not as drastic of a change, but it happens more often. So it's like even then it's still a little much. So I'm going to have it be more like 4. So you still get that flickering, but it's not overdone. Because there's a lot you can do that you just know it draws too much attention to it, so you can really tell that it was added in later. So the key is to not overdo it so that it looks good in the video, but it's not taking the viewer's attention off of what is really important in the shot. So yeah, that's the basics of how I add fire in my shots. This is a little bit of a longer video than I was expecting it to be. But later on in another video, I'll get into motion tracking. So if this guy was holding a torch, I'll show you how to track the fire with him as he's walking and holding that torch so that you guys can add fire in your videos. And it's not just limited to a campfire and a still shot. You can have a lot more and do a lot more with fire effects in post-production. Thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial video. I really enjoy making them, and I hope you guys enjoy watching them and learn from them. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Ring the bell so you're notified when I upload my new videos. I plan to be uploading a video once a week on Mondays, so keep your eyes open for that. I'll see you guys in my next video.